Hello, everybody. Welcome to Wrestleview Post Raw number 118. I am Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com.
And I'm Victoria Tedesco.
Well, it's been quite a week.
I love well.
It's been quite a week for professional wrestling.
I thought you meant for us. I was like...
Has it been quite a week for us?
I don't think so. That's what I'm saying. I thought you were going to talk about us. I was like, oh, okay.
No. It's just been a regular good old week for us. But for professional wrestling, it's been quite the week. It seems like AEW, not on purpose, went off the air with a really bad angle, and WWE Tonight, on purpose, went off the air with a really bad angle. It's like you think you can accidentally do one really bad angle? We're going to show you. We are the innovators of the horrible angle here at WWE. You want to see a dud? You want to see a dud exploding ring? Don't worry. We can put duds in the ring. And that's AJ Styles, not the AJ Styles and Randy Orton match per se, but Randy Orton versus The Fiend. Dud. I'd rather watch 15 shows end with a dribble of a exploding ring than anything involving Orton and The Fiend at this point.
Man, that's saying something.
It kind of is.
That is kind of... No, it is.
It's pretty damning. Pretty damning for the...
Well, you know what's funny? It had a good start. Like, last night it had a good start.
Last night had a great start.
Had a great start.
For AEW Revolution,
for AEW.
Jericho to MJF versus the Young Bucks. That was a fun-ass match. That was a lot of fun.
It was pretty good. It was going on a good path, and then just kind of went off the rails. And I'm like, all right, whatever.
Noticeably, it went off the rails when Matt Hardy had a long match. It just never turns out well.
No, it doesn't. When will they ever learn?
Actually, I the one thing that sucks about the main event for AEW Revolution was I thought Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega had a tremendous freaking barbed wire match. I thought the explosions that were done during the match were awesome. You know, it's like, obviously it's like a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We know nobody's getting killed here by the explosions. I mean, the barbed wire was legit, and they were definitely banged up after that.
Oh, definitely.
But for that, I mean, they really put all of
they're like
their
blood,
being
sweat, and
into
tears
that
in
match.
Absolutely.
But man, like, you know, I feel so bad for those two because it's like, it's not their fault that they were relying on, you know, a fireworks company to get their shit in order. It's like, that's the one thing you do is fireworks. What do we want? Fireworks. What do you do? We make fireworks.
Right.
Can you make fireworks for us?
Right.
Yeah, sure. And then it was it was bad. It looked so bad. You know, Eddie Kingston having to sell that. I felt bad for everybody involved, but I really felt bad for Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega. You know, they went out there with the full intention of putting on a classic match, and they did 9/10 of everything correctly, and they were betrayed by something completely out of their control. That sucks. This shit with Randy Orton and The Fiend, that is in somebody's control, and I don't know what the hell they're thinking. I don't know.
I say this a lot, but I think what happens is they obviously get themselves in a position where they can't just completely drop something. I mean, and again,
if they phase it out,
of course, absolutely, and that's what they should be doing, right? But I think that a lot of the times, unfortunately, what happens is everything okay?
I just want my Pure Leaf.
Oh yeah, of course. No worries. Here you go, darling.
Thank you.
No, I think that they get themselves in these positions and they just don't want to, although it'd be very forgivable. Again, if they drop certain angles, we'd be like, fine, I don't really care. As long as it's just gone, go away, goodbye.
Well, there's like certain angles that got dropped that
then they commit to it. And then they feel like they have to like see it out. But it's like, it's not worth it. It's really not.
I mean, when you light the guy in fucking fire, you kind of have to see that through, I guess.
Yeah, you do. But at the same time, though, it's like, again, we're going into this whole like mythical being of just not realistic. And again, not everything's supposed to be. I get that. But it just goes off the rails. But anyways.
I don't get it. I don't get it.
They have to commit to something and they have to see it through. And that no matter how bad it is, with the exception of Raw Underground. It's just like it just died.
I honestly thought in the Shane McMahon, Braun Strowman stuff they were doing tonight, I really thought that I was like waiting for Shane to go like, you ruined Raw Underground for me. Like Dabba-Kato to come out from behind, even though Braun Strowman squashed Dabba-Kato in no time flat.
I was getting vibes of like Miz and Shane. But then I was like, oh no, Bad Bunny, they can't do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I was like, no, they're not. They're not going to go that angle.
And we already saw Miz and Shane.
We already saw that.
I mean, there is history there already.
Of course. But I thought maybe I was like, oh, maybe. But then I'm like, no, wait, Bad Bunny's in the picture. Never mind. Like we can't ignore that.
Right. Oh well. Well, let's say hello to everybody in the chat room tonight. Well, I know that's what I'm getting to that. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. And if you're a first-time viewer of this video, please like and subscribe to our channel. Like this video and subscribe to our channel, or else nothing's gonna happen. Just move on with your lives. We'll all move on with our lives. It's okay. But we hope you do like hope you like our presentation here and
I don't move on with my life. If you don't subscribe or like,
Victoria won't forget.
I won't forget.
She won't forget. I will immediately forget as soon as the stream is turned off. I will have forgotten all about it. All right. Before we say hello to everybody in the chat room tonight, there is something very special that I need to say, or that we need to say. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Nafis!
Yeah.
It's Nafis Sadat's birthday today. Our dear friend Nafis is having a birthday, so we wish Nafis a very happy birthday.
Having a birthday. I like how you're phrased that.
It's 8:36 over where he's at, and he's still got about like 4 hours of birthday left. That's
I
excellent.
always say it's always until it's not even at midnight. It's when you go to sleep.
Yes.
That's true. You could stay up till like 4:00 in the morning.
You could stay up for 2 days. It's still your birthday if you're actually up. If you're actually up, it's your birthday. So that's it. So we wish Nafis a happy birthday, and we demand everybody in the chat room also wish Nafis a happy birthday.
Right now, again.
Right now, you must do it.
Won't be good for you.
And they are doing it, by the way.
Good.
They are already doing it. So happy birthday, Nafis. We appreciate you. All right. We got Jamel in the chat room tonight. We have Quentin Walters in the chat room tonight.
Hello.
I am Alpha in here. Mashoon Walls wishing Nafis a happy birthday. Daniel Shell
on my list, like official. I mean, though we said it, but like he's been really.
Daniel's on the list.
Oh, Daniel's on
the list. Got it. I got it.
On.
Juan Alarcon. Hello, Tedesco's cue AEW exploding ring sparkler display.
Sorry.
I don't think that would have blown up. I don't even think that ring explosion would have blown up our curtains. So it was pretty weak. It was pretty damn weak.
God, can someone get us new curtains, please?
Well, we're working on it. We are working on it.
Yeah,
we're getting them sized up now. We're getting them sized up now. But when you buy a house, it takes a little while to get all your shit in order.
I mean that's one thing.
Stuff.
Honestly, before anything else, before appliances, we should have gotten new curtains.
No, I want a new. We need stuff to keep our food cold first before we get curtains.
I don't know. These curtains are pretty blinding.
Yeah, that's true. They do make you sick anyway. So I don't know, sour milk or curtains that make you puke. I don't know. We got Mr. V in the chat room. Don't diss your curtains, he says. Mr. V. Always,
you're more than welcome to them.
Always.
He's always positive. He really is.
We got Andrew Elder, the man no longer on the list.
Nope. Andrew's like off. Totally off.
Andrew's totally off the list.
Daniel Shell has like a permanent spot.
We have Jorge Oliva in the chat room tonight. We have Billy Hefner. Our Uncle Billy is back. Uncle Billy is back. Finally, thank God, at long last, everything is right in the world. Uncle Billy is back, baby. So, all right. And if we haven't said hello to you yet, just make sure you say hello to us at some point, and we will definitely say hi to you.
Absolutely.
All right. So, I have to say, like, the first 2 hours of this episode of Raw were pretty damn good. The show opened up it was a little bit of a rough start. We had a kind of a long backstage, not really that long, but long enough with Bobby Lashley backstage. They had initially told us on SmackDown we were getting a championship celebration. I would prefer a much shorter, subdued backstage interview rather than some drawn out stupid segment with red carpet and the balloons and then somebody interrupts it and then blah, blah, blah. It's like so boring. This is fine. Then we have the Miz in the ring. He's complaining that he's been a company guy for so long and doing everything that's been asked of him.
Yeah.
You can explain it better than I
Yeah,
can.
no, honestly, I mean, you're on a, you're talking very well about it, but yeah, I mean, Lashley, it was fine enough. What I did actually like about him talking in the beginning, even though he comes out with the Hurt Business, with, they all have their titles, and MVP stays there while, MVP tells, he's like, oh no, you guys go over there for a minute. And then while he's getting interviewed, right? And he's giving Lashley like an opportunity to talk. He didn't fall flat on his face, MVP's obviously there for a reason. He's there to speak for them and there to, keep them together. And he's behind, he's the muscle. Bobby Lashley's the muscle and MVP's, good for the mic and everything. But it was short enough, again, for Bobby Lashley, a little bit longer than it needed to be. But however, also for Bobby Lashley, just enough where you're not like, oh, okay, like he did well. He didn't embarrass himself, and he did okay. Yeah, and I was honestly, I was actually, yeah, of course, and I was actually happy too, that it didn't wind up, and again, that it didn't wind up being like the main event tonight, even though, I
don't know if you could have stretched out Bobby Lashley versus The Miz.
Yeah.
They barely stretched it out last week.
I mean, last week it was, yeah, right. And last week, had a different purpose because obviously Miz playing the cowardly heel.
Right, but we also knew we were going to get a title change at some point there. So it's like, okay, I'll keep watching until I get the title change. It was one time too many, I thought, but.
Yeah, this was good though. Then he spoke. And then Miz spoke, and, Miz talking about, yeah, like you said, this is one thing I want to ask you real quick, though, before with Bobby Lashley. I thought it was 17, but they kept saying 16. Is it 16 or 17? I know the semantics of it might be a little.
Oh, years?
Yeah.
No, he debuted in 2005, so.
Okay.
That would be, yeah, that's 16 years.
Okay, no, because I remember hearing 17 at some point.
Even though he was gone for like 10 of those 16
true.
years.
Very true. But, and again, that's just like a little, I heard 17 somewhere, so that's why I'm like, all right, whatever. But then, Miz coming out and everything, what's funny? It's everything I always say when I go on my rants and defend him. Yes, when Victoria
defends The Miz.
Everything is saying like he's a company guy. He says yes to everything. He does media, he does press. No matter what, he's always there. He's always to do whatever he wants. And this is where I thought oh, maybe we're gonna get a little Shane thing because he kept blaming Shane for interfering, and he should have wanted him to be champion, still be champion, bringing out the Lumberjacks that last week. But then again, I thought of Bad Bunny in my mind. No, they can't have him and Shane again. You know what I mean? I mean, they could, but that wouldn't really make much sense at this point, especially since Shane's involved with Braun Strowman, right?
Correct.
But Again, Miz spoke enough to the point where, again,
right,
to place blame, to, do his shtick.
Yeah. Now there is a big rumor that, not from any website that is really truly credible, but there is a rumor floating around out there that Vince is blowing up the WrestleMania card and making big changes. So those things that we thought were happening for WrestleMania all of a sudden seem not to be happening. Maybe the direction is changing from Miz and Bad Bunny. Who knows?
Maybe. Who knows?
Who knows? But like Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, like that definitely changed. Bobby Lashley, whatever they're doing with him right now, it's interesting. I'm curious to see where they go. But Miz, I don't know. Does he go back to Bad Bunny after this? How do they insert that back? Mustafa Ali and Kofi Kingston seems to have been dropped, but it looks like they might be picking it up again next week. I don't know.
I don't know either. Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
I don't know. I just thought there was a lot of Shane, but again, that's only because Shane also made those last week.
Yeah, but I mean, there was nothing else with Miz and Shane tonight, and it was very much a horrible segment with Braun Strowman and Shane. So that seems to be the direction too. I don't understand why. Anyway, we got a WWE Championship match to start off the night with Bobby Lashley having his first title defense against The Miz. And much like last week, he dominated The Miz and beat him by submission with the Hurt Lock. Any comments?
No, honestly, you know why? Again, I'm a realist. I knew this was going to happen. You know what I mean? I actually liked it better than last week. Last week I felt like it was a little too much aggression. This one was a little bit more like
Miz at least got a move
little
in.
bit over. Yeah, not over.
He did send him
but
into the ring post.
so
Lashley no sold it, but he did do it.
he did do it exactly.
You know, so like there's that.
So that's my one I would say improvement from last week. That Miz didn't look like a complete,
Douchebag. Like he doesn't belong.
Stop. But he does.
Like he's
belong.
not a champion.
He does belong. Everyone's got to get on board.
I know. I like that they gave that one-armed spine buster name. They're calling it the Almighty Spine Buster.
Yeah, because, the almighty one.
So, I do like that they had Drew McIntyre watching this, and then he was interviewed backstage. He talked about how Bobby Lashley has no passion or balls. Like, you worked with The Miz to get the title off me so you could just beat the freaking Miz rather than me. I beat Brock Lesnar. You beat The Miz. Like, that was, again, I thought that was going a little too far of just like, I mean, like, I get it. Miz, again, he's chicken shit heel, he's cowardly and all that stuff, but like, wow. They are really, really going out of their way to make him,
How do you think Miz feels about this, though?
I don't know.
Here's...
I honestly wouldn't feel good about that.
No, I wouldn't either.
It's like they are... Like it's one thing that the internet calls me a joke. Now it's like they're on the TV show. They're also referring to me as like a joke champion and a joke of a performer.
No, I wouldn't. To be honest with you, again, like being in the position that I'm in, I'm this individual who literally does everything, and I'm being made a joke. Yeah, no, I don't think I would like it. I really don't. I mean, I know he's got his wife, his girls, his career, obviously. Like, he's done amazing things. I'm not saying that, but...
Andrew says that Drew McIntyre is on your list now.
Oh, yeah, Drew McIntyre, for sure. I mean, Drew McIntyre's been on my list for a little while because he's been throwing jabs at The Miz for quite some time.
He has. But all of a sudden, Sheamus attacks McIntyre and beats on him and says he's not through with Drew McIntyre yet. So, right after a WWE title defense... We go backstage. Drew McIntyre demands to have a no DQ match against Sheamus, and that is granted. But not before we had a stupid segment with Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon, the first of two stupid segments with them tonight.
Where are they going with this, though? Like,
I don't know, but Shane McMahon said it perfectly. So stupid.
I wish
that was so perfect.
It was so perfect because it was so stupid
for this feud. So stupid.
I really do wish if Vince does like have this episode of just like, no, I'm changing everything. I hope if any plans they have for Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon, that's something that he's just like, yeah, no, never mind. Let's just forget it.
Right. I know.
Vince, do your thing.
I know. So, anyway, we get so Braun Strowman's walking backstage, bumps into R-Truth. R-Truth thinks that he's looking for an apology from him, so R-Truth starts apologizing, and Strowman's like, no, I'm not looking for an apology from you. So then R-Truth tries to erase his memory with the Men in Black, silver thing, and then runs off. And that was that.
I love it.
I was like, I like the callback to Men in Black, but Men in Black is also almost a 25-year-old movie. Really? Like,
But when was
25
the last
years
one
old.
That came out? When was the last one? I feel like we were at the drive-in. Wasn't it like 2 years ago?
No, that was still like 8 years ago or something like that, I think.
That's a drive-in.
Well, not
Men in Black, the third one?
Yeah, or the fourth one. I think they came out with 4. I don't know.
Whatever the last one was. I feel like that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, but the first one and then everything else is kind of a parody. Although Men in Black does have my favorite actor of all time. I mean, not really like for any reason. I just really like his name. The best gimmick name I've ever heard in my entire life. The best ever. Belonged to Z on Men in Black. Zed, right? I guess they called him, right? Rip Torn. Rip Torn. What an amazing name. If you just sit and think about it, it's incredible.
I'm so happy.
Rip Torn.
I'm so happy that you're so happy.
He's awesome.
Okay, what a weirdo you are, though.
But it's still 25 years ago, and Rip Torn is now long dead.
Okay, well, I appreciated it. I thought it was funny. Do I not matter?
What? I mean, you matter, yes, but
you're saying I don't matter enough.
Rip Torn.
I don't matter enough for that to get.
Apparently, Men in Black International came out like 2 years ago, so you.
I told
right.
you,
man. But I mean, it's like it's not that memorable, but how it is. If it doesn't have Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, it's hard for me to be interested, I suppose. The duo you didn't know you needed. Anyway, Braun Strowman comes out, says, I'm starting to think you're laughing at me, Shane McMahon, rather than with me. And you made me team with Adam Pearce and forced me to tag him in, and then we lost the match. And is this your idea of a joke?
I thought it was.
Yeah, and Shane. So he demands an apology from Shane. Shane comes out, gets in his face, and just goes, "I apologize." Walks up the ramp, looks like he has something to say, and then he turns around and just leaves. And so they kind of left that hanging. And I wish they just left it hanging, because at the end of this fucking segment, I wanted to hang. So it was brutal. So stupid. But this was not stupid. This match was Sheamus and Drew McIntyre that kicked off the 9 o'clock hour.
Absolutely not.
Wow. What a great match. I
mean, these two. I don't know if it's that. Where are they both from?
Europe, Ireland, Scotland,
okay.
The whole thing.
I don't know if it's
they got that like
Celtic.
British. They got that like British wrestling thing where they just club the crap out of each other and kill them.
It's just like another dimension of like Unleashed tonight with them.
Right.
I mean, it was equally as good as last week.
Mm-hmm. For in many ways, it was even better than last week, because
True.
It's like they were working to a non-finish here, and you know how much I love non-finishes. I don't.
You don't.
But this one, I was like, I could not care less that it was a non-finish.
Yeah.
Just didn't matter to me whatsoever.
Yeah,
because this match was friggin' awesome. They just crushed each other. The steel step shot. What did I steel step shot? That made sense, right?
Yes.
Okay. It initially looked a little cheesy, but then when they did the replays and like, oh, look at their heads bouncing, and I was like, okay, I can buy into that. They're both unconscious after that. They call off the match. All this does is just build to them having a match at Fastlane, right?
Yeah.
Presumably with something with like the winner goes to WrestleMania, I'm sure, or something like that.
Right.
But it was just awesome. I could watch them battle all day, and if that non-finish sets up another match all day long, put Sheamus and Drew McIntyre, put them in a syringe. We got our first dose of the vaccine on Thursday. I will take a shot of Sheamus and Drew McIntyre along with my second dose in a couple weeks. I just want more of it. That's what I want. I want more Sheamus and Drew McIntyre.
Yeah.
And it's like they're giving this feud away on free TV. It's like so crazy. They're giving it away on free TV.
But you know what?
Twice now they've done it.
I think
it's like, obviously, like they don't have plans for Sheamus at WrestleMania. It looks like,
we really don't know.
They're getting the matches are so damn good that Sheamus might literally be clubbing and punching his way to a WrestleMania match involving the WWE Championship.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I actually think I didn't fully agree with giving these matches away, on Monday nights. However, I think it's really smart. When I sat and thought about it, I think it's very, very wise of them to be doing this, because you know what? It builds your interest, and it leads you to think like, maybe Sheamus will be involved somehow. Maybe it's not so clear cut who the individuals are going to be going for this title.
Right.
We really don't know. And I like that. I like that it's not so in our face, like, oh, what's happening? You know what I mean? So this is actually really, really good. It keeps the viewer strongly invested. Good brawl. And you know what? You are left wanting more. Just because you saw it on Monday nights, how are you going to top it even more at WrestleMania? Possibly. We don't know.
But
Sheamus it could even be a situation where it's still Drew McIntyre versus Bobby Lashley, right?
mm-hmm.
But Sheamus is so amped and livid and angry and furious that, Fastlane didn't go the way that he intended and, whatever the case may be, and he inserts himself in and gets himself involved and or ruins it for an individual. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many ways that this can go about, and I'm all for it.
Yeah. And you can see, obviously, they went through a war there. Andrew Elder was nice enough to tag me in these photos. That's Drew McIntyre's back there. Whew, man. That's
brutal.
That's a hell of... that's a tough night at the office.
That's where, I get really angry. People are like, oh, but it's fake. It's like, you can't fake that.
Mm-mm.
That you can't fake.
No.
They really got into a brawl right there.
Tough. It's tough to fake all that stuff there.
Yeah.
So that was nasty. That was nasty. But man, I could just watch that all day. And I was like, okay, so we got a WWE Championship match. Like initially I didn't hate the Shane McMahon and Braun Strowman thing at first. I was like, all right, whatever. That was weird. I guess that's another cliffhanger to get us to another week. I didn't realize that they were going to come out later in the show and do something way worse.
Right, the first time it was like, whatever.
But I was like, this took us almost to like 9:30, and I was like, this is a really good first half of the show.
Did you jinx yourself though?
No, because it continued on. Like
no, I know, but
well, yeah, we had this thing with Kevin Patrick, the new backstage interviewer, interviews AJ Styles and Omos, and for whatever reason, Styles is talking about Randy Orton, and because they just did a video about Randy Orton and the Fiend, and he just starts talking about Randy Orton, and Randy Orton just happens to be there, walks up and says and challenges him to a match, whatever. I was like, fine, and then I was like, my God, this show's now gonna have Randy Orton versus AJ Styles. Awesome. I'm not going to complain about that. I'm not going to complain about that. Then we have Xavier Woods versus Shelton Benjamin. And this was a good match. Shelton Benjamin was, there was a really, really funny moment in the match where like Shelton Benjamin was just like hitting power moves, but they were just like scoop slams and, and headlocks. And Kofi Kingston goes, Nice moveset, Shelton. Nice moveset. Yeah. Great moveset. Great, like, cause it's like all just like, not fancy, just impact moves. That's all they are. It's just like a scoop slams and the side headlocks and Shelton and Kofi Kingston goes, yeah, nice moveset, Shelton. Nice moveset. But it winds up, Shelton Benjamin's looking at Kingston too much. He gets caught in a small package. You knew that was going to happen because Shelton Benjamin was beating on him from the beginning, so that obviously means in WWE logic that he's losing. I don't know why that always is the case, but it just is. But we go backstage to Riddle, and the New Day comes through, and they start talking to Riddle. They say he has to take out Slapjack, and they promise to watch his scooter. Now, they haven't done anything with Kingston and Ali. Like, that storyline seems to have been dropped. But the fact that the New Day is going to face the Hurt Business next week for the Raw Tag Team titles, and the fact that there was no reason for them to say like, oh, make sure you watch it. You make sure you take out Slapjack and turn him into a flapjack. And it was actually a better segment than I made it sound. I laughed a couple times during it. New Day is just so damn charismatic and funny. And Riddle was, he found a place in this segment, so he wasn't that annoying this time. But the fact that they mentioned Retribution, that has to be purposeful. At least you would hope there's a purpose to it. It would be a good way to reintroduce Mustafa Ali and Kofi Kingston next week if Retribution costs New Day their tag title match.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to say, before we continue, I'm really proud of someone like Xavier Woods. I feel like he's come such a long way. And I know the New Day has been a thing for a while now. But he really found his own with this, you know what I mean? And I think, it obviously did help that he had Big E and Kofi Kingston to kind of, play off of. Mm-hmm. But I really, because, I wasn't like a huge Xavier Woods fan, you know what I mean? I didn't hate him, but I didn't really care for him either. But right. I think he's come such a long way, in the ring and just personality wise, that it's just nice to see. It really is. Absolutely.
Yeah, Xavier Woods, I mean, just he's growing so much. It's like he's a legit star. He's
he is
doing big things.
He knows
he's doing big things outside.
There is a lot.
Business.
That's another thing too. He's I'm not gonna say completely mainstream. Do you know what I mean? Like a Ronda Rousey, Bella's type thing. You know what I'm saying? Or Undertaker and all that. But
right.
He's actually known enough where there are a lot more people who do know him in the media than don't know him.
Oh yeah.
So good for him.
Yeah, he's doing awesome. After that, we have I'm trying to see like where the hell this see if they gift it or anything like that.
Which part are you looking at?
So it's Slapjack versus Riddle, and
the drop kick.
The drop kick.
Yeah. I don't remember seeing anything, but keep looking.
Yeah, there's nothing. It's just it was just, yeah, it was something. Yeah, here it is. I think I might.
Oh, did you actually find it?
I think I did. Hold on. I want to make sure that there's no audio on here.
Oh yeah, that way we don't get in trouble.
No, this is a different one.
Old, yeah.
It's a different one.
Yeah.
No, that was an embarrassing drop kick. Tonight was like, my God, like, what the? Wow, he got like serious air on that drop kick to Riddle,
air.
And no one seemed to appreciate it or gift that. I'm surprised by that.
No,
but
I'm sure actually, you know what, probably will pop up at some point.
Maybe.
Just not maybe right this second, but yeah.
So Riddle beats Slapjack pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently Mustafa Ali, in a move that completely and totally makes sense, is getting a United States Championship match against Riddle next week because he pinned the champion, so now he's the number one contender. That makes sense. It makes sense.
What a concept, everybody.
It's not insulting to the intelligence.
It's not insulting to
you don't feel like a dickhead after it. You don't feel like you need to take a shower because you've been bastardized.
You don't feel like you've been duped?
I don't feel like I've been duped. I don't feel like I've had my mental ability assaulted.
I actually get very
beautiful.
Okay. You know when people, does anyone else get this feeling? I get this feeling all the time. When I'm not feeling good, I feel normal. But like, cause I generally, Mike could tell you I'm a little bit of a whiner, but I always I'm like, oh, I have a headache. Like, oh, whatever. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But when
among many other maladies.
And my ailments.
Hypochondriac.
Shut up. But anyways, like when I feel like normal, I'm like, oh, I feel normal right now. So whenever like logic is used in WWE, I'm like, am I being tricked? Like that's where I feel like I'm being tricked.
Maybe
when logic is there, I feel like I am being tricked.
Maybe you're not a hypochondriac. Maybe you're just like very ill from bad WWE storytelling. I didn't know that.
Did you notice a change?
I did notice a change. You have not complained about. Well, I've also noticed a change that in the last couple hours you've not complained about anything. So, I think tonight's mostly well booked show has healed you.
Has healed me.
Other than that, I didn't know watching WWE is dangerous to your health. I had no idea.
But you know what I'm saying? Like when logic is used, I'm like, I'm being tricked.
I know.
Something's going to happen.
You're waiting for the other shoe to drop.
I'm waiting.
You're just waiting.
I'm just waiting.
For that shoe to drop. Anyway, so, Mustafa Ali, not happy with Slapjack losing. There was no T-bar, no mace, no retaliation or whatever her name is. Reckoning. Mia Yim. None of her tonight. No Bad Bunny, no Damian Priest tonight. Bad Bunny's off recording for the Grammys, so I guess that means Damian Priest just disappears because there's nothing interesting about Damian Priest. Without Bad Bunny, he's nothing.
Those are fighting words.
Damian Priest is horrible.
Am I sitting here defending him?
I don't know.
I'm not. Why,
I want to make sure.
Why are you getting in my face? Like the way you
he's
just
not
turned
a face.
your body was very aggressive.
He's not a face.
That you need to take a chill pill because you were very aggressive just now.
He's not a face.
Okay. Nope.
Hey, Brett Farmer. I think the audience is suffering from knowing too much about the business and how the business and writing works. We may not ever be able to enjoy the content like we could in the past.
I think, there's a lot to be said about that because especially for Mike, obviously being that he recaps, it's very hard to not overanalyze everything. And the same goes for me too, because we discussed it on the show. And talking to somebody like Adam, who's been separated from, the site and
Brian's here too.
And everything. he appreciates certain things more because he doesn't have to sit and just like he doesn't have to worry about Wrestleview. You know what I mean?
I think Adam watches wrestling now and he's like, wow, I used to watch this shit. Wow, that's amazing.
But there are certain times where Adam is like, I don't have to overthink things.
Mm-hmm.
He can just turn it off. He doesn't have to like sit and invest time into it.
Yes, this is true. This is true. We say hello to Brett D. Farmer, and I saw we also have Nasiev Maine in the chat room tonight.
Hello, everyone.
All right, hello. Please like, share, and subscribe.
If you don't,
Quentin Walters promised that he would sing naked. So I noticed that when he put that threat in the chat room, that the likes went up. So nope, everybody wants to avoid that. So
why? This is the problem when I can't see the chat. This is so bad.
So no Damian Priest tonight. Although I would have taken a Damian Priest match rather than this next segment here, because this is where the show started to come off the tracks. Shane McMahon comes back to the ring. Says he's engaged in some self-introspection.
Okay.
Which I think when you say when you say I'm going through introspection, it's assumed that it's self already. It's redundant.
So it is redundant. I wasn't so sure. I didn't want to make a fool of myself.
It's like
by saying, isn't it redundant?
It's like saying irregardless, which is regardless of regardless. It's like you don't need to say irregardless. You can just say regardless.
I'm being
irregardless isn't even really a word, but people say it all the time.
You know, it's funny. I am an English major, but there are certain things like that where I do say, and I'm like, oh, I know that's not right, but I say it anyway. Like, could care less, could not care less. Like that always trips people up. You know what I mean?
Yes, it does.
Regardless, irregardless.
Yes, I think I screwed up my care less thing tonight in my tweet, but I ran out of characters, so I had to take some grammatical liberties.
Whatever.
Anyway,
who cares?
Just something about this. There was something about this promo that I just didn't like, and I'm not really sure if it was when Shane McMahon said that. Braun Strowman is stupid as stupid does, or if it was the one when he said, oh, you fell out of the stupid tree and hit every branch on the way down, or this guy is so stupid. Essentially,
I feel like
we've been complaining for years that they make their faces look stupid, and now they're actually booking a face to be stupid.
How old are Shane's children?
The one was born in 2004. So he's...
What's his youngest one? Do you know?
16, gonna be 17. I think the kid's turning 17. Actually, I think
the youngest one.
The oldest one. I don't know how. I don't keep track of their families,
okay.
But I do. The only reason I know that Shane's son is probably about 17 years old is because at WrestleMania 20 he was in the video with Vince and Shane, and they're like, "Welcome to where it all begins again."
Okay. I'm going to find... I feel like...
What does it matter?
Okay. There's a reason why.
Why do you care?
Because I feel like his child wrote this.
I feel like the child could write better. That's what I feel.
You know what? Actually, you're right. Because my second graders, they definitely can write better than this. And I've seen it. Go second grade.
This was garbage.
Go second grade.
This sucked. And then Strowman chases him. Well, not really chases him. Shane runs away. And Strowman... like a stupid idiot, just walks really fast. It was like that scene in Revenge of the Sith when the person comes up to Mace Windu / Samuel L. Jackson and it was Anakin Skywalker. He goes, I've just discovered a plot. The Emperor is the Sith Lord we're looking for, and he goes, we must move quickly, and he starts to walk. And I was like, okay, so the Sith Lord you're looking for, and I love Samuel L. Jackson's inflection upon saying that line. He goes, I believe that Chancellor Palpatine is the Sith Lord we've been looking for. And he goes, a Sith Lord?
I don't know why I'm cracking up.
And then he just starts walking. Not even power walking, just walking. He goes, we must move quickly. That was Braun Strowman tonight, being an idiot.
It's like those scary movie parodies.
The reverse scary movie where the victim actually runs away and gets away. And the stupid idiot movie guy who's supposed to kill them walks so slow and never gets to them. Dumb.
It's actually, I'm making a lot of references. It's the game Granny. So you ever play the game Granny?
It's Granny.
She's so slow.
Yeah, and as soon as you go under the bed, Granny can't see you anymore unless Granny sees you go under the bed. Yeah. So this sucked, and then it turns out Shane drives off in the SUV, or so we think, and then Strowman just looks and walks away. And as he's walking away, Shane emerges from a hiding spot, waves at him, and goes, "So stupid."
Just like
and I go, that was so apropos. That's a perfect description for this entire feud. So stupid.
I don't even think he was saying
there's only
stupid.
one. There was only one word missing. It's so fucking stupid.
I don't even think he was talking about Strowman. I think he was just
I think he thought.
I
think he thought the cameras were cut, and he was just like, "That was so stupid. What the fuck are we doing?" That would have been perfect if he just ended it with that. Like what? This is how we're gonna get me to jump off the sign at WrestleMania this year.
Amazing.
This is stupid.
Amazing because
stupid.
He is the son of the of it all.
Although this feud was like built for Ryback, believe it or not, and I hate Ryback now because he's such a fucking parody of like the angry former.
Dead.
Yeah, but remember when he I remember that one time he took down Brad Maddox. There's a blast in the past right there.
Oh my god!
And he just grabs him by the throat and he goes, "Stupid," and that was the end of him.
That was it.
Perfect.
All foreshadowing. Stupid.
Very stupid.
You're dead.
Very, very stupid. Getting back to Brett's point about knowing too much and stuff like that kind of takes away our enjoyment. Yeah, it's I realized I wanted to expand on that point a little bit there, but it's hard to avoid that. It's like now that the toothpaste is out of the tube, like that just means that they need to work harder. Or sometimes like, WWE, what they do so often because they don't book, in advance long term. There's no long term thinking for any of their storylines. Everything's just kind of like, like again, like that website might just be totally bullshitting about, like, oh, Vince changed his mind, but everybody knows that Vince probably will wake up at some point and change his mind and the entire card of WrestleMania. So that website will eventually say like, "Oh, you see, we were right." It's like, yeah, well, you just took a shot in the dark on something that has like a 75-25 chance of happening. So it's not really news as much as it was like just a good educated guess, and it actually happened. But like that means that they need like they get into this thing where it's like, oh, because everybody knows how we write and they kind of understand how wrestling goes now, we have to take something, even if it's totally logical for it to go in this direction, and we need to swerve them. We need to swerve them to something completely illogical that doesn't fit the story just because we have to give them a surprise. We can't just give them, like sometimes booking something and it going from A to B to C and following like a generic story isn't bad. Not every fucking feud needs to have a swerve or an extra caveat thrown in there.
He's shining an Emmy.
Like there's no Emmys. Emmys are gone. It's over. It's never going to happen. But in terms of like, yes, we know how it's written. So why don't you just give us something that...
Yeah, that substantial and...
Why don't you give us something that, yes, we know how it's written. We know where it's going.
That's okay.
And you give it to us exactly how everybody thinks it's going. They'll still watch anyway. And maybe at the end of it, they'll say, you know what? That was a good storyline. That everything made sense.
A swerve here and there, fine.
Swerves here and there are fine, but like...
But again, everything in moderation.
Mm.
But a good solid story, basic plot, basic, everything goes a long way.
Mm-hmm.
Less is sometimes more. But in this case, everybody thinks, well, at least the big guy thinks that no, more is more, and more is more, and then some.
Yeah, and we need to give you more of that more.
Which we didn't need more of tonight.
Speaking of more...
Actually, what they needed more of, but they didn't handle it properly. I don't know if everyone's aware of this. Well, it's technically not anymore, but it's Women's History Month, as everybody knows, okay? Today, yes, well, it's 12 here. It's past 12 here, but for other people, it's International Women's Day, right? And how disrespectful could they have been to the females tonight They were hardly featured, right?
There's no females to feature.
And then when they were featured, we had a match that just was not good.
Yeah, because
And
nobody's
then it was
good.
just a mess.
Because nobody's good. And Asuka's injured because Shayna Baszler couldn't fucked up her kick and, kicked her right in the face and knocked her tooth out and gave her concussion. And now we have Charlotte Flair having to get involved with Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, which really scared the piss out of me because, is Asuka coming back anytime soon, or do we actually have to suffer through Charlotte Flair versus Mandy Rose versus Dana Brooke? The women's division on Raw is in such shambles.
There's nothing to even recognize again that this should have been. I mean, I know WrestleMania season's approaching, so we can't just stop storylines, to represent women and what have you. But this is so bad.
They did a few videos for International Women's Month. But this match was built up by showing the footage of Nia Jax screaming "my hole," so that's something. Everything sucked about this. Naomi was horrible in this match. Lana was Lana in this match. Shayna Baszler was terrible in this match, and Nia Jax was Nia Jax in this match. So everyone was equally everybody either played below their ability or played to their ability, which is not that good. And we mixed Reginald in there too, which the only thing that was positive about this match is it gave me a chance to write the word sommelier. So I'm happy about that.
I'm very happy for you.
Very happy about that. This match sucked ass. It was just piss poor shit. Rhea Ripley, I get that they're doing this big hype for her coming in. She'll probably come in the day after Fastlane. Maybe she'll even debut at Fastlane. Maybe we're going to get Charlotte Flair versus Asuka versus Rhea Ripley. But, at this point, we need reinforcements now. Just get Rhea Ripley
tonight.
She should have came the night after Royal Rumble.
No,
Rhea
no
Ripley
doubt.
should be on this show constantly.
She should definitely came tonight. International Women's Day.
But Rhea Ripley is not going to she's not going to be enough. It's not enough. It's you add Rhea Ripley, but you still have fucking Mandy Rose, who has completely lost all of her passion for wrestling. You can tell in her face she has no interest, desire to be there. They had her in good storylines all last year. Unfortunately because of that insane fucking moron that broke into
that stalker broke into their home.
Yeah. What's
Sonya Deville?
Sonya Deville's home. They had to put the hold on that storyline, and then now Sonya Deville's kind of back, and they're not doing anything with Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville, so that's it.
No.
They had her with Otis, and it's not the greatest storyline of all time. It was a storyline, and it was a featured match.
Really liked it though.
It was a featured match at WrestleMania last year, and then that just ended it ended like an exploding ring in AEW, just a wet fart. Nothing happened. And now it's she's in this pointless, going nowhere, dead end tag team with Dana Brooke, who's we work really hard, so we deserve a shot. Yeah, you know what? A lot of people work really hard and they don't get dick.
I work really hard. I work really hard every day, and I love my job. I do. It's not enough sometimes.
But Rhea Ripley is not gonna be enough.
No.
You need Rhea Ripley because you need to start somewhere. But you need someone for Rhea Ripley to work with. And if she has to work with fucking... if the only two people that are competent enough to work with her are Asuka and Charlotte Flair, that's going to wear thin very quickly. She's going to have squash matches against Dana Brooke and Mandy Rose and whoever else is there to squash.
I have a theory.
Naomi, Lana, they'll get squashed. And then somewhere floating out there, she's going to have a terrible match against Nia Jax because that's a rite of passage now on the women's roster. You're going to have a match against Shayna Baszler, and Rhea Ripley and Shayna Baszler was good in NXT, but I don't think it'll be good on the main roster. What's your theory?
My theory is Rhea Ripley doesn't want to come back up. She's like, you know what? Never mind. I'll stay.
Well, I mean, when she got called up last year, the Raw women's division was at least a little more robust. Now it's just a bust. It sucks. But they need a giant injection of women on talented competent
Hungry.
women. And I'm not saying that like
Hungry
I'm not
women.
saying competent in terms of intelligence. I'm saying competent in the ring, physically, athletically, competent, able performers, not just a pretty face that works really hard and I could do a handspring. Fuck that. That's not that. We're beyond that. We're beyond that. Alicia Fox, does a great Northern Lights suplex. Alicia Fox was terrible. Okay.
She was awful.
She was terrible. Kelly was terrible. Like, we're beyond that now. We're beyond that where it's like, okay, they learn 2 moves that they can do really well, and now we have to pretend that they're a wrestler. Now we're moved way past
Nobody
that.
wants that,
We're moved
though.
way past
Well,
that.
see, that's the thing. Everybody, Vince,
No,
right?
because Vince gave up on it again because they convinced him in 2018 that this is the right thing to do. 2016, 2017, 2018, they convinced him, let's do this. And then they didn't call anybody else up and he got bored of it and now it's done.
What I was going to say is because Vince has the mindset of the pretty blonde that he thinks, because he's still in that mindset of like, oh, pretty blondes to me, they're really pretty. People are going to be engaged. People are going to be interested. People are going to care. We've evolved from that. And that's not to say like, people who are, they think who's attractive and whatnot, right? However, we've evolved to the fact of people really just want to see women wrestle and do well. Get legitimate storylines, get legitimate time in the ring, develop their craft, and have equal opportunity. That is a good majority of what your fan base wants.
Yeah.
Yes, okay. Back then, you got the pretty girl in the bikini doing a match. Cool, fine. People were obviously, they loved it. Whatever. But we've evolved from that. Now it's more than just their looks. There's so many different women out there who should be getting an opportunity, should be doing what they want to do, explore their passion, and they're just not. Because Vince is, again, still in that mindset of like, nope, it's got to be the hottest chick with the biggest boobs out there doing her thing.
Right. And you have Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard who don't exactly have great track record of booking, strong, solid women.
No.
Like Andrew's saying, Andrew Elder's mentioning that Gail Kim and Madison Rayne did wonders for Impact being in charge of the women. You need a woman to be in charge of the women's storylines. Now last year they had a female writer on the writing staff that wrote the entire Otis and Mandy Rose, Dolph Ziggler love triangle thing.
It makes a lot of sense, actually.
And it wound up being one of the hottest stories going into WrestleMania. And then they fired her because they had to save a couple bucks.
Yeah.
You like I understand firing No Way Jose. I understand firing a couple people,
but not a female writer.
But not somebody who's not even just that she's a female writer. Like that's insulting to her to her talent. It's the fact that she's successful. That she wrote a storyline that was a success that people enjoyed. You don't fire the people that actually do good.
And I wouldn't even say somebody like Stephanie McMahon, and that's nothing against her. I think Stephanie McMahon's actually a really good person and does a lot for the company and is a good, strong, advocate and everything. But I think even her, in the back of her mind, she would try to cater to her father a little bit.
Everybody caters to the father. You know why? Because the father makes all the decisions at the end of the day. Crazy old Vince is making all the decisions.
I just don't think she would go against anything that he would initially think. I think she would think, what's going to make him happy.
Right.
So I don't know necessarily her being, a lead writer, or rather, facilitating that would be the best decision.
Initiator is here. Graham Koskin Cripps is here.
Hello.
Graham says that AEW does better at women's wrestling match. They build your interest throughout the match. I was rather impressed on the matches this week. They started slow but built up throughout.
They do.
They do, but AEW definitely positions the women's matches as always the cool down match, where I would have put Matt Hardy and Adam Page in the cool down match after I believe they came after the Casino tag team match battle royal thing. That was something. I would have put them in a better spot on the card where it's not like, okay, the women are out. Like, they've kind of conditioned their crowd to, when the women are out there and Hikaru Shida is working really hard and they're not getting a reaction. until they, had to basically beat the hell out of each other and get some sort of reaction. But like they do much better with their women, but they should position them a little better on the card. There are the matches that weren't as worthy as the Sheeta match was, that were placed better. Anyway, how did we get that from that little tiny segment?
because I went on a tangent about being Women's History Month and the disrespect to women, and I just feel like
it's brutal. It's
I'm telling you, I'm not like a huge feminist or anything like that, but I do get very upset.
Right.
Because just from like a personal standpoint, if I'm in that company, like I would want to be treated with the same respect as the men, and I just feel like we've gone so many steps backwards in terms of the roster and the evolution of women in this company.
Mm-hmm.
It went from like a huge high to like this extreme low, and I feel like we're almost worse than we were back then because the talent's there.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not saying women in the back that it was a different time. You know what I mean? But there's some seriously amazing talent, and it's just not being utilized.
Honestly, not as much as you think. There's not as much talent as you think. They've lost more than they've gained. And they have Alexa Bliss tied up in the worst storyline of all time. It's like right now, Randy Orton and The Fiend and Braun Strowman and Shane McMahon are in a fight to the death for who's going to have the worst storyline this year. Right now they're fighting. They have switchblades and they're in between their teeth, and they're just like crawling through barbed wire. They're trying to kill each other, throwing grenades at each other. The last one standing is going to have the worst storyline of the year. So far, the Fiend and Randy Orton are winning by a long shot, but a couple more segments like we had tonight with Shane and Braun, they're going to be right up there with the Fiend and Randy Orton. Can't we just give one of those to SmackDown? Like, why do they both have to be on Raw? Jamel said this earlier tonight. Remember when Raw was 2 hours? Because I said something like, like the first 2 hours of the show were pretty damn good. It's like, yeah, like remember when Raw was 2 hours? They switched to 3 hours in July of 2012. We're 8.5 years into this experiment. Next year will be 10. Will be 10 years of 3 hour Raws. What a mistake. What a mistake. We've talked about it too many times. I'm not going to talk about it again, but damn, that was a mistake. AJ Styles versus Randy Orton. This match, in theory, shouldn't be a mistake, and it wasn't a mistake. It was actually pretty damn good. They had a good back and forth. Obviously, they kept telling you it's a WrestleMania worthy match. Like, yes, yeah, we get it. We saw it at WrestleMania. Yep, we got it. Okay, cool. AJ Styles, Randy Orton, good match. Shit finish. Orton's Alexa Bliss appears on the screen, plays Jack in the Box, gets up to the part where it goes pop goes the weasel, but she stops before the pop comes, and she goes not yet, blows out a match. The ring post exploded with fire, which obviously was more explosion in the ring than last night at AEW, but just like AEW, they ended with a wet fart of Randy Orton throwing up black liquid and eating a phenomenal forearm to take the loss. So that's that. So Papa Shango, I am so over this feud with Alexa Bliss and the Pentagram and the Fiend and this whole fucking shit. And I'm so over these fucking people online defending this stuff as if it's like, oh my God, this is incredible.
I'm not seeing it. It's amazing.
Well, there's less and less, but geez. Anything?
No.
All right.
I mean, we're really exhausted enough. How many times are we going to talk about the fact that
it sucks?
It's just not good.
I know.
It really is not good. I mean, the one thing I will say is this. As bad as it was up until like the finish, it was nice to see AJ Styles and Randy Orton in the ring together. Did you hear what I said? I did
hear what you said. I did. So, what did everybody think of this show tonight? Give it a thumbs up or thumbs down in the comments. Victoria, what do you think of this show?
I mean, even though like there were like the Braun Strowman and the Shane stuff and like the finish of the main event was not good, I'm still the fact that the first 2 hours were really solid, I'll give it a thumbs up.
Yes. I can't give it, like I said, I can't give anything with Drew McIntyre and Sheamus a thumbs down. It was just too damn good. I really liked, I did like the WWE title defense because they're kind of building up Bobby Lashley. Is like, yeah, he's almighty and he looks dominant, but he beat The Miz. It's like they're booking him as if Bobby Lashley's the coward. So I like that. And I also kind of like the direction with the New Day and the Hurt Business.
Yeah.
And even
there was a lot of positives.
There's a lot of positives, but it was like a half good, half bad show. So technically it should be like a thumbs in the middle, but I got to give it a thumbs up because I really liked Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. Coskin Cripps gives it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. It was meh. Machine Walls gives it a thumbs up. Billy Hefner gives it an up. This show definitely thumbs up. Hours 1 and 2 thumbs up. Hour 3 thumbs down. That's from Andrew Elder. Thank you, Andrew. I am Alpha thumbs up. I like the Sheamus and Drew match plus Lashley versus Miz.
Yeah.
Brian, Lashley destroying Miz and Drew Sheamus was enough to hold it for a thumbs up. Brett Farmer, gives it a my grade is meh. Kind of disappointed. The Miz got the match he should have had last week. He's not wrong about that.
Yeah.
But they really wanted Lashley to look dominant last week.
Yeah.
I am Alpha. Oh, no thumbs up because of the slapjack dropkick. Tonight's Raw from Quentin Walters. Thumbs up. That's big praise for Mr. Walters there. What does everybody think on the Twitter account? Let's see. They give it, it's got a 52% thumbs up. So it's a polarizing show.
It really is like smack in the middle.
It is like, it really truly is a smack in the middle
Amazing
show. Just half good, half not so good. But always good chatting with you about Monday Night Raw, chatting with Victoria about Monday Night Raw. We hope you enjoyed the show tonight. We're going to sign off for the evening, and we will be back next week with Post Raw number 119, the final show before Fastlane, and the launch, and also the first night of the launch of the new WWE Network on Peacock. Oh, also, WrestleMania, they announced that next Tuesday the tickets are gonna go on sale. We don't know anything about the safety protocols. They said they're gonna announce that later, but it's rumored that they'll have about 30,000 people in the stadium. So WrestleMania is back in business, and WrestleMania back in business with 30,000 people crammed in there at the Raymond James Stadium, along with Shane McMahon's tagline is so stupid. That kind of just apropos for what the whole company's doing right now. Sounds good. All right. Wow. Anyway, everybody, I am Mike Tedesco, the editor-in-chief of Wrestleview.com.
And I'm Victoria Tedesco.
Have a good week, and we'll see you next week. Take care, everybody.
Bye, everyone.